Welcome, horror fam, to HHN 365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Mike, and as always, I'm here with my co-hosts, Duff, Jess, and Jonathan. How's it going, guys?
Hi, I am very hype.
HHN's next week.
It is. It's so close. So close. On today's show, we will be going over our HHN Orlando hype list, as well as some news. But before we get to that, as always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365, and on TikTok at HHN365pod. We have an amazing Discord that you can join us. The link is in the description. And we have a merch shop at HHN365.com. You can always leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134. We have a lot to go over, so let's hop right into it. Let's do our what's going on with us. Let's do our housekeeping.
Yeah, so this is the last time you're going to hear us say it before it happens. HHN Live Trivia is back at Half Barrel Beer Project. That is going to be on Monday, August 28th at 8 p.m. Show up by 7:30 to guarantee a seat if you're joining us. As always, we're going to have fun, prizes, and a specially brewed beer from Half Barrel Beer Project, which we're very excited about this one. So we hope to see you guys there.
So excited. No spoilers, but I'm so excited for this beer.
Quick question. The merch should be alive.
Are you going to do the video?
I can do it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
We can do it tomorrow. We can shoot the stickers too really fast.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we should announce it.
We should, because we want sales before.
Yes, of course.
We can't guarantee the trivia though at all. Okay, cool. I'm glad. Hats though will be there at trivia.
Yes, they will.
Mention that.
All right. And that's not the only thing we got going on. As the time you're listening to this, you can go buy our newest merch release. One shirt this time. I think it's a phenomenal, timeless HHN classic, the Blinky Cup Bunch. Of course, inspired by the Brady Bunch and a bunch of Blinky Cups. The community artist, Sav, does a phenomenal job as always. And we were able to be on the receiving end of it this time. This design, it's not just great, it's very us.
Oh, I love it.
Very
Definitely.
us.
It's so beautiful.
And it's not just for this year. This is a shirt, like you said, timeless. I can't wait to see everyone in it with their Blinky Cups at 32.
Well, I did say one shirt, but that's because we have some other things this time, not just a bunch of shirts. The next, finally, a hat. We have had a few dad hats made. They're black, and they have our logo on the front. It's a beautifully done stitching job by a local company. The colors really pop. I'm loving this hat. It just looks great.
Yeah, it's really good. The embroidery, like you said, fantastic quality. The colors are so bright, they're hard to photograph. Like, we'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also decided to release a few stickers for sale of some past designs that were really great. One of which being the Bugs Eaten Alive inspired shirt design, the one you would have seen on the back. That is now available in a, what size sticker are these, Jess?
They're about just under 3 inches by 2 inches. They're pretty good size for like a water bottle, a laptop, stuff like that.
That and also the Legends Collide inspired design that we had as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the Legends one is like a duochrome metallic,
Yes.
kind of like our logo stickers if you have one of those.
It looks, love it. But that's it, right? That's all we added for this drop, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's it. Should we tell them if they find us in the parks? Maybe we'll have something for them.
Yeah.
Maybe something that you see on the Blinky Cup shirt.
Possibly.
You might get to, come find us in the park. If you find us during HHN, we'll have a logo sticker for you, of course, or if you find us during a live or something like that. But we'll also have
Special event.
just for 32.
Just it, which we'll talk about next week what it is, but
Keep that in mind.
yes. But yeah, so that's all available right now at hhn365.com. Go check it out. Hope you like it. Hope you buy it and rep it at the event. That'd be great. Thanks.
Absolutely. All right, let's hop right into Orlando news. We have a lot of going on. Let's hop right into it. What's going on with the resorts?
Oh, so at Cabana Bay, they've already announced it previously, but now in the Swizzle Lounge, Little Boo and the Pumpkin Lord have taken over once again. It's basically the same setup as last year with the book saying the Pumpkin Lord chant and Little Boo and all the pumpkins, along the bar. It's nice. It's cute. It's the same thing from last year, but it is always good to have something there that has the HHN feeling. And with Little Boo popping up on a ton of merch that I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later, it definitely makes sense.
Mm-hmm. For sure. He's, regardless of what you think, he did get overused last year in merch and a lot. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe is just so fall, Halloween, and it fits really well in a place like Swizzle Lounge, I think.
It really
Okay.
does.
Yeah,
Did he
I can't wait to get over there. I'm
make
so
over
excited.
The little Boo statuette. Did they add hair or did he have that little hair vine before? Because he's in the Swizzle Lounge. I saw a photo, and he looks different to me.
He might be
He
different.
looks like he has like a little hair
Okay.
vine, like vine hair now. But I didn't go last year.
Oh, is that part of the other product that we're going to talk about in a
It
bit?
is, but in the Swizzle Lounge, I saw a photo of
So
the
it
little
probably
Boo.
is an addition.
Oh, so maybe
Oh.
he's grown. Is the little Boo growing up?
Oh,
Oh wait, I might be into Lil Boo again. If he, this is like a story. What if he's the icon at like 50? Because he's like a full grown.
Adolescent.
He'll be 18. He'll be 19 by then. Adolescent Boo. Wow.
That would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would be okay.
I just really just pulled that out of nowhere. So
But,
nobody get inside.
Oh, it's not. I mean, that'd be fun. That'd be a fun little thing for them to do.
Hey, anything's possible.
But we should probably not only the Swizzle Lounge have stuff, but the parks do as well. Jess, I know you went really recently. Is there anything that popped up that is super interesting?
So I don't remember what we talked about last week for the First Zone and Oddfellow, but I know his caravan, his carriage is out there. The scare actor triggers are out there, and I know they've been doing rehearsals, so the man's got a lot of triggers. I'll give him that. There's some Zodiac signs in the zone, and there's some crates out in the street now in front of Today Cafe, which is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious to see how that's going to work with people coming in the park at like 6:30 when it's like bum rushing the gates. I'm kind of worried for the actors, but we'll see. Zodiac, the only difference I saw was that on the fire sign stage, so the one that's over kind of by Bourne, there 100% are flamethrowers coming out of the top of it. I went yesterday and there's 2 metal pieces and you can see on the end like where the flame comes out of. And there's little canisters at the bottom. So I think we're getting fire, water effects, maybe some fog for air. I don't know, earth. They're going to throw dirt at us or something. Okay. But Zodiac has nothing else besides that. But
I mean, that's a cool addition. I'd love to see just fire in a zone.
And I'm a fire sign, so I'm here for that every day. Jungle, I could not tell you if they added anything because at this point it's so full.
Yeah,
like, I have no idea.
I can tell they're adding stuff. I just don't know what. When I go, I'm like, it has more.
Foliage.
It definitely has more.
Yeah, the bats are adorable. I love them. They've been there though. Nothing really. We have the bar over by the Kids Zone tables or Animal Actors tables.
Mm-hmm.
That is now fully a bar and a food service location. I think it might be our Resurrected Lombard's bar.
Yeah.
The set is at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Shipyard has a Dr. Oddfellow truck.
I like a vehicle. We know this. I love a vehicle.
6 vehicles
There's so many
right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. It says like Oddfellows Trading. It has his logo on it. The hidden Mickey of the event, as Jonathan has called it. And then in Vamp, we just have some stickers and some leather jackets and vests. But if you go in the corner, over by where the Gotham bathrooms are, there is a Volkswagen Bug, a Volkswagen van, and a 1950s, I have no idea what fucking model, but there are cars back there, and they're the forklift cars. So we're definitely getting 3 more vehicles at least in Vamp. So
Let's go. Oh,
Yeah, lots of cars. Lots of cars this year.
Cars. Oh, I'm so ready. But I know that the little podcast episode about Vamp like heavily talked about people running through like the crowd of cars and the crowd of people. So I feel like we're setting scenes up here. Bodies might appear soon.
Oh, yeah.
It's body season, guys.
it is.
I think there's already a body hanging up in Jungle of Doom. They just covered it.
There is.
I know a big complaint about 85 was that it just kind of leaned too much in creating a vibe of 85 and basically trying to replicate 55 after that. This definitely, from what we are seeing, seems like it's really trying to set a specific scene a lot more than 85 did.
Yep. It's not about the vibe. I really hope they let them make magic in there. That is my... We'll get there. But yeah, that's it for now. We're going to be there every day because it is that time of year. So check TikTok at HHN365pod.
Yeah.
I want to take this next one. I'm
Yes.
excited. We knew that Dead Coconut Club would be returning, but holy shit, what it's coming back as, which is going to be the Revenge of the Dead Coconut Club. The frightful fiends of Monstergram Pictures have completed their latest B-movie epic, Target Planet Coconut, and they're premiering it at the one and only Dead Coconut Club. Annual pass holders, you'll get the chance to be among the first to visit this incarnation of the Red Coconut Club. That'll be on August 31st from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., so just the day before the event premieres. They call it a family-friendly event with previews of spooky performances, a live DJ, and themed mocktails and cocktails. If you haven't seen it yet, go look at the logo. It's beautiful. It's a 3D style. I don't like a 3D house. A 3D bar I can get behind.
3D club.
I can get behind that. It just looks so cheesy, and the B movie is really, really pushing through here. I'm so excited to see what the aesthetic looks like inside.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, out of all the themes we've had so far, this is the one that has my interest captured the most. I'm really interested to see how they pull it off and what elements from this theme they can actually translate. I want to see how they translate the 3D theme. I think that can look really cool. And I hope they go all in because this sounds really exciting.
I will say one correlation I've made is this is taking the trajectory of like the tribute store. Started at HHN, started small, not much to it, just kind of slap something in, spread to other events, get a lot more detailed.
More money.
So I think like we're in it now. I say like it's just happening now, but like the additional experiences like elevated shopping, now elevated bars are really starting to take over, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, all the hotels are getting something this year, and that has never happened. It's always just Cabana. Hard Rock had that caretaker package back in 2002 or 3, but like it's good that like hotels are getting involved in the fact that it's not just you don't have to stay at Cabana to feel part of HHN now. Like you get a bar at 2 hotels this year, you get a photo op at all of them. I want to go find all the monsters personally and go have a drink and all that. So
that's a fun day, just going around to every hotel and looking for every monster, and having a themed drink at every place. Like that's fun.
Yeah, and then ending it at Dead Coconut Club, and then going into the event.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What a way to pregame. You will not make it to HHN.
I was going to say, you'll need like a wheelchair to get into that event. But,
Damn. We do not condone binge drinking.
Even though we will do it. I mean, we will.
Anything for the video.
For the content. For the content.
Anything for you guys.
It's really about you at the end of the day, listeners.
Oh, God. Dead Coconut Club. Or Revenge of the Dead Coconut Club. Excuse me.
Yes.
Well, I can't wait. Are they going to give you 3D glasses when you walk in?
I can only hope.
Can you imagine, like, talking to your friend? And I can only imagine myself personally, like, the straw just not finding my mouth. And I'm
I can imagine watching that happen
yeah,
right
I know
now.
you can. Like, literally.
Yeah, this sounds like a pre-game place, not a post-game. Because if you go after the event and you throw on some 3D glasses, you're going to get very sick very quickly.
Every house is a 3D house this year.
Well, after enough shots at Finn's, every house was a 3D house every year.
All right, so what else we got going on?
Yeah, there's some more stuff that popped up in the park, but this time it's not Universal or City Walk. It's Islands. And basically the All Hallows Eve boutique, the little store they have in Lost Continent that's always horror themed, HHN themed, has now been themed to Dr. Oddfellow and Madame Basil. Is that how I say it? Or Basile, or one of those?
I didn't know who she was. Someone had to tell me that it was the window below. I'm so sorry. Sorry, madam.
But yeah, you're right. It's the fortune teller that's under Boris Schuster's window in Universal Studios. But basically, you walk in, you see a poster right in front of you of Dr. Oddfellow, and he's like, the art is beautiful. And on your left and right, you see posters like art for houses. So you have art for Yeti Campground Kills, Blood Moon Dark Offerings. You got The Darkest Deal, and you got Dueling Dragons. And go further, you can see like a poster for Dr. Oddfellow Circus. And then there's some, like, I think some fortune teller props for Madame is like in the corner there. There's also a good guy doll just kind of standing there for no reason, and I appreciate that.
Isn't he he's in a cabinet. I think he's in a locked cabinet.
Is it a lock? It might be a lock. I remember just seeing the doll.
I think there might be like a photo op. I know there is one because I saw Erin posted a photo.
Mm-hmm.
Of course she did. Of like a Chucky in a locked cabinet, like insinuating he was haunted.
Oh.
But maybe I also was reading into Twitter too far. It could have been that.
Yeah.
It could have been.
But can we talk about that Darkest Steel drawing? Because he's hot. He is. Sterling said that, and I agree. Whatever that man is doing, I'm into it. I can't wait to meet him.
Everyone wants some of that pine straw.
It's not Pine Straw. It's the Collector.
Oh,
the little demon guy.
Oh, that's what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Okay.
Oh, he was attractive in the boutique. The photo, the drawing.
Okay.
Of him.
Yeah.
Love that. I'm calling it. That's our guy this year.
Everyone still wants to.
It's everyone's guy.
My friend. My friend pointed out about that art. It almost looks like Pine Straw is the tie of the collector. We'll say the
fellow possibly. People have been hinting at that. Anyone listen to the podcast?
I did.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
I really liked it.
It was good.
It was good.
Spanish one could not listen to.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Did it add too much more to what we knew about the house? It was more specific details about people and names and stuff like that. Very much like Blood Moon.
Yeah.
It told you a specific
story.
story. It was a fun story. It just gave you really nothing about that.
It's all scene setting. That's all this is context. And it's
Yes.
just for people like us because normies are not going to be the ones.
Normies.
No. You know what I mean? The casual, I go to
general
HHN,
public.
that's the name, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. The normie. I will forever call them the normies now.
General public is like a slur in the theme park.
Exactly. The normie sounds better.
Somehow.
Those who don't have the brain parasite that we do.
The non-infected. I think we are now the infected.
We are. Yeah, it's true. We got bitten by the HHN bug. But in addition to all of that, awesome stuff, and I'm sure they're going to be adding more to the store as well. It looks like it. I feel like they have some more room to throw some stuff there. We have merch. We have HHN 32 official merch, not just the preview merch that we've had, but we have just merch for the event itself. Some of it has been, we sort of talked about already, that was on the website when it said like a preview, that there was going to be preview merch. But not only is there that, but there's additional merch that you can only find currently in the store right now that is online. And there is a lot of cool stuff. Do we want to pick out any specifics, or you have anything that we're super interested in?
I did. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I didn't love everything. I didn't love a lot of it. I'm waiting for the whole tribute store next week.
Right.
There's nothing I was running to go except the Oddfellows shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Oddfellows shirt with the Chance reference and the Jack reference. That's amazing. You have to buy that. It's going to sell out. There's no way.
And it's literally like it copies the template of the Jack
Jack
shirt
one,
from 30.
which makes sense.
Yep.
Why Jack would copy his mentor's poster.
Right.
So this is all just the merch has lore in it now. I don't care about anything else. The little Boo stuff, whatever, it's cute. The one with the Raven, it looks like an Edgar Allan Poe shirt from Hot Topic, but they shove Little Boo on it.
Yeah.
Which people are going to eat up.
Oh,
they're going to eat
we're going to see this shit everywhere. But again, the general public. I'm good. I haven't seen a every day is Halloween yet kind of a thing from last year.
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like a lightning in a bottle design yet. I don't like that flannel.
I think the flannel is a cool idea.
It's different.
I don't want to wear it. But they really put a lot of detail into what it is, and it looks cool. It's just not something I'd buy.
Yeah, I appreciate it, but it's not for me. Spirit jersey's cute. Again, I'm glad it's a Spirit jersey, like a real one. We'll see what happens next week.
There's a lot more to come.
Ooh, the cup sling. Wait, let's talk about it. How do we feel that it's you in the fog?
I'm upset because I've been vocal how I didn't really like the design that much, and I hope there's more options. I hope it's not just that. If it's just that, I'm going to be upset.
If any event is going to start getting multiple options for that, it will be HHN.
Mm-hmm.
But historically, we've only gotten one.
Historically, we've only literally
it's only been 1 year.
So.
But I'm saying Mardi Gras and Jurassic Park only had one.
Yes.
But
never know. I will say I much preferred last year's. It's so basic, just black, orange, pumpkin face.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween Horror Nights. I think that works so much better.
It really does.
It's also cropped weird on it.
I think if they would have used the Oddfellow logo on one side or something, and then a Halloween Horror Nights on the other, It's still really simple and easy to just plaster on something, but whatever.
You know what item I really did like though, out of everything? Not the Chucky stuff. I didn't really like it. The Chucky stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I hope there's like an actual like house shirt eventually.
There has to be.
Has to be because right now it's just kind of generic Chucky.
Did you like the artist series?
I liked. How many are there? There are like 4 or 5
4 or
drawings.
5
I liked
boxes,
4
yeah.
out of the 5.
You know how long
Um,
it took me to realize that the one that says "my power" said "my power" or whatever on it? Because I didn't see the word. It took me 2 days. Guys, I love these artists are great. All of the Monsters ones they've done have been fantastic. This is not a hit for me. This is a miss.
The thing is, I think that some of the designs are really cool. I think all of them are drawn beautifully. The problem is there is a head of Chucky that's taken off. That's from the Cult of Chucky.
Mhm.
When his head gets taken off and then he's sort of holding it captive, and the way it's drawn is just sort of I don't know how to say it. It's a completely different tone than the others. The others are more campy. They're a little fun, more cartoony, and that one's like sort of just realistic in a sense. It's darker. It doesn't fit the shirt at all. I think if that one like art style like changed, it was once again more campy and fun, I might have got the shirt. But that thing kind of just is a big stain on it. It's great art. I just don't think it fits. But the one thing that I really liked out of I think almost everything besides the Oddfellow shirt was the Monsters cups.
Oh,
Yes.
I forgot about
Yeah.
Monsters. How could I forget about Monsters? Sorry, as you were saying.
Like it's just I mean, it is sort of just the design we have. The Invisible Man looks a little different on the cup, but
They listened.
they did. He's not just standing there. He actually sort of has like a nice little pose. But it looks beautiful. The art, like the way the colors look on the cup, just like are bright and it works great. And it's just a perfect cup. I don't know how else to describe it besides it's great and I want it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
My possession soon.
Yeah, the glass is mine.
I hope we get an artist series shirt for Monsters again.
Oh, that'd be good.
Because I really hope it's not just the Chucky one. And again, all the artists are great. They always do great work. I agree tonally, it does not match up.
Mm-hmm.
And the Monsters, even if they've been different, they've all looked aesthetically kind of similar.
Except Invisible Man.
I meant on the artist series shirt.
Oh yes.
All right. Anyone else have anything to say on merch?
I'm looking forward to seeing more.
Yes.
Next week.
Yep.
I'm going to keep saying that. What's next?
I guess we might just have to hop right into it because we have a lot of Hollywood stuff that we are going to save.
Yeah.
Seeing as last week was basically a fully dedicated to Hollywood episode. So we're going to hold off on that. But there was something released today that we can discuss. The commercial came out.
I'm so sorry.
The main HHN 32 promo.
It really did.
Technically was for both coasts.
Yeah, that's true.
They just the only change for both was that the opening scenes, like for Hollywood, it was some video of Hollywood and
B-roll of Hollywood.
Yeah, and for Orlando, it's B-roll of Orlando.
So their commercial doesn't have Evil Dead in it.
No.
Okay, I didn't realize it was for both. So
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I didn't realize it until like 2 hours after I saw the Orlando commercial. I'm like, oh, I guess Hollywood had it too.
I came out of work and just saw it and went, oh, and I was like watching it in the sun, so it was not great.
Mhm.
And just like last year, it utilized filming inside Universal Studios Florida to its advantage, and it felt very similar. But I kind of like the approach they went in the sense that it wasn't just generic scare actor attacks someone. They really utilized the IPs more directly.
Yeah.
Which I mean, especially for ads for the public, it's IP makes sense.
Mhm.
Again, those of us who care about the originals and anything beyond that, we're coming regardless.
Mhm.
You got to utilize the IPs, and I think they did a really good job for 2 of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to address the main complaint that this commercial had from a lot of people on social media, and everyone's like, where's Dr. Oddfellow? Where is he?
Mhm.
And that's completely fair. And to be honest, I'm kind of scared that because Dr. Oddfellow isn't in any of the marketing, and years down the line, people are going to go, was he really an icon though?
Yeah, well-
Because he wasn't in the people will wait. We'll make that discussion.
My
I
guy
know they
like
will.
tweeted the other day.
If you are someone who believes that you have to be like the head of marketing and the focal point of marketing to be an icon, you're never going to get a new icon in your eyes. It's just not going to
Yeah.
happen.
Mhm.
Those days are over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the thing is, we are getting an icon to the levels of like the peak of icon years.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not a focal point in marketing.
Yeah.
So I think I can take that sacrifice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flood the streets, baby.
Isn't the bus from back then? Yeah, I know that was a joke. Agreed.
I mean, they did include some lore though. I mean, they went into Madame Basil's room inside
the
of
hand that's very much in her window. Was what the first girl touched. Yeah,
absolutely was.
Yeah, that's true.
So there was something.
I liked it. I just agree. Where's Oddfellow? I think it's interesting that they're holding him until opening night.
Yeah.
To see him, or until team member preview. We're gonna see every year. People, you're not supposed to take photos, and what happens? The first thing you do on Twitter at 6:30 is
It's gonna be
We're gonna see Oddfellows.
And then you have me standing in City Walk, squinting my eyes.
You're like, is he there with binoculars? People in the gate. Going,
I so clearly remember HHN 30 as I was like, I'm fucking here, Jack.
Yeah.
I am shocked that they actually like put the characters in this in the Last of Us teaser trailer, like signal trailer, it was just a shadow of a clicker, and I was like, oh, they just don't they don't want to put the money and put in the clicker in here, the makeup, like that, that's a lot. I get it.
Mask is so good.
The
mask,
so good.
That's if that has to be, because I know that they did a makeup test on the clickers. Someone tweeted about it, so it had to have been for this. It looks so good. Obviously, this is probably prosthetics and mask,
right?
Because for stuff like that, they do a little bit more involved. This is more for like studio lighting, not house lighting. But if that's what the mold is based off of, I'm so fucking excited for this house.
It looked creepy and, most importantly, accurate. It looked completely accurate to the games, and I mean, I guess the show. If you've watched seen it that way,
Oh, I'm so excited.
Vecna, on the other hand,
He didn't look bad.
He looked okay.
He didn't look like a ball sack. And that's an improvement.
That is an improvement. Fair. That's true.
But I'm going to come for him when he comes out on opening night. I'm going to be like, ooh, or yay. You'll know.
Yeah, for the Exorcist Believer portion, it was interesting.
Yeah.
I will
interesting, yeah.
I will say, like, it gave me more, I don't know, like, I kind of liked it. I know you guys are more down on it. I thought the voices of the girls going like drip drop, drip drop, that kind of excited me. I'm like, okay, that's kind of creepy actually.
I think it had the most intent to be a scary moment.
Mm-hmm.
What was happening didn't fully make sense.
It's hard when you don't know the context,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the film. We can only base it off what we've seen from Exorcist in the past, and that's their fault.
A lot of bed. There was not bed in this commercial.
I'm okay with that.
There was chairs. So we've moved from bed to chair.
Yeah, it's
chair room.
Exactly.
Oh no, chair room again.
Oh no, what if it's just the drip drop? Oh, Lord.
We'll find out soon enough.
Next week.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right. Any last comments about the commercial before we move on?
No, let's get right into our hype list. We have a lot to cover.
All right. This is the episode everyone waits for.
This was hard.
Every year. I always wait for this episode, but it was very difficult.
I feel like this was my hardest.
Very difficult.
Since I started.
It was my hardest. I'm looking at my list right now, and I'm like, no. Well,
I keep also.
This is not at number 8.
I keep thinking this. We can't change these because we have something that our hype lists are involved with next week.
Yeah.
So this is our word is law now. We can't go back on this because I don't want that to be 2 separate lists.
I think last year I literally changed something.
Yeah, we're not doing that this year. Sorry, I'm calling it. We're not changing. Maybe you can change.
Okay.
Excuse me.
No, that's so you can't do that. You can't release this episode.
Yes, I can.
All right. Whatever.
Content here, content there. It's
fine. Whatever. We'll find out if Duff's list changes next week.
It will.
But yeah, this was hard, and I feel like I might change it as we're going.
Yeah.
It hurt.
I'm literally looking at 3 things that I am currently contemplating moving. 3 separate spots completely flipping.
Wow.
Does it feel wrong? Like I look at it and I'm like, there's no way.
Yes. Even the Scare Zone one, which was easier, I'm looking at it, I'm like, that shouldn't be there.
That's what I just said. I'm worried now.
You know how in most hype lists there are like tiers? Everyone's like, oh, well, once you get to 8, no, it's like once you get to 6, then those are the ones I'm really excited for.
No,
you know?
9.
Once I get to
Exactly.
9.75,
That one.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Like,
Scare zones, all 5.
like,
There's literally not one I'm not.
they're all like pretty much every one on the list except maybe like one I'm like super hyped for. So like no matter where it is, like number wise, like in the end, like I don't think it matters. I'm gonna walk in the house, like I'm super excited. Like all of these are crazy, and it just goes to show how hopefully strong this year is.
Yeah.
All right,
Definitely.
well, I think we should start diving in. Quick reminder, 365, we like to do ours very straightforward. We rank the scare zones, then we rank the houses. We don't do a combination. It's just straight up house, scare zone rankings, that's it. We normally would include shows if there's multiple. There's only one, so
Nightmare Fuel number 1.
somehow it's still not number 1, even though
No,
it's by
I was about to
itself.
say, it's 2. It's behind the show you get as you're leaving when the couples are arguing. Sorry, Fuel Girls.
We also do our scare zones as a way to kind of yell at each other when we disagree. So we'll see how much of that there is today.
Wow.
As always, let's start with our scare zones. We go bottom to top. So I'm going to look around the room. And Jonathan, what's your number 5?
Ooh, okay. My number 5, unfortunately, it's hard because they're all like, I'm still excited for all of them, but my number 5 has to be Shipyard 32. I know, everyone's kind of shocked. I know.
The Hell Block.
There's no way.
Reincarnation is your number 5.
There's no way.
Like, here's the thing. I finally got to go to the park. Like yesterday.
Oh, you haven't seen it. I forgot.
And you
So-
looked at the crane?
The crane's beautiful.
The crane is beautiful. The crane is beautiful.
Sorry, let him say his piece before we start it. We have to back off now.
For now, until I'm done, then you can start
Uh-huh.
yelling at me. The crane is beautiful. I think everything is pretty, in some way, but I think the way it's set up, it's gonna become a clusterfuck. Like
That's just San Fran.
But yeah, but that's a reasonable reason to have it 5. But like, how Conjure the Dark did it is that they had a stage, and it wasn't a great stage show, but it pushed people to go all the way near the stage. So I feel like the flow was a lot better.
Mhm.
It was smoother. It was better than it's been for a long time. I think there's so many big giant props this year that it's going to once again become a clusterfuck. And like, I'm going to have this. I'm still very excited for this zone. This 5 doesn't mean not excited at all. 5 means I'm still very excited, just not as excited as others. I'm just worried about the flow. And as much as I'm very happy that it's looking very similar to Hell Block Horror, and I'm going to make lots of fun memes with it, that doesn't, I'm the main issue I have is the flow. And if the flow isn't good, I just know it's going to hurt it for me.
Yeah. I will say, Jess, he is correct in the sense that you said that's San Francisco. I may have made a joke every year about Hype List how it's always going to be 4 or 5 based on that location for me. So
Okay, that's fair. I'll accept
Fair.
that. And I agree. The set pieces are massive.
Mm-hmm.
But
they look good. They look good though.
They do look good.
I think it's I'll get there in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that lead anyone else into their number 5 directly?
No.
Which is why I'm shocked.
Oh, then go ahead.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really funny that Jonathan doesn't have the hell block of scare zones any higher than 5, and I do, because my number 5, and it has nothing to do with location, but based on the fact that every entry zone for the last couple years have just been like, here's a table of contents. So it's Oddfellows.
Mhm.
Collection of horror. I keep
Yeah,
wanting
collection
to
of
say
horror.
the wrong thing.
Collection of horrors.
Horrors.
Horrors. Sorry,
I-
multiple horrors.
Everyone wants to go collections of collections.
Collection
Horrors.
of horrors.
Which one's plural?
Well, because he has multiple collections. Do you think he keeps them in chapters?
Maybe.
Like, here's my jungle chapter. That's what I'm thinking. So collections of horrors.
But what if it's just a single collection of horrors?
Well, Oddfellows collection, but there's chapter. We're not getting it. Well, that is a later episode down the line. But it's that one, and it's just because it's a new location, so I feel like there's a lot of room for hits and misses that
Mhm.
way, which it could be really great. We could love this location. It might not be great. But it's also because I think it's just going to be a scare actor from each zone, very jumbled, and I think it's been that way since I started going to the event.
Mhm.
And I'm not a fan of those zones. They're always my number 5 or 4. So.
Yeah, they definitely said in the podcast it is a table of contents
Yes.
zone.
Oh, so then they've already said it. So
Yeah.
I probably just blanked out when they were talking about that.
So that's also my number 5.
Okay.
I will say, I've said this the past 2 years at least. And I was wrong those 2 years. But it feels like it could be the best example of that table of contents style zone.
Mm-hmm.
It really feels like they're going to have Oddfellow there for a reason. There is a purpose. He's actually showing you
Mm-hmm.
what this event is about, and not just, hey, here's characters from around the park. Look at them. Am I going to be wrong? And it's going to just be characters from around the park? Yes, probably. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to hold out hope that it will be better. Not better to be above my number 5, but better than that.
Yeah, it's I'll just piggyback off of it. It's my number 5 too. That's not to say that I am not excited for Dr. Oddfellow or even this zone. I'm just not a big fan of the the Production Central zone. It's already kind of hard to do anything there. They have a much smaller area. Now, I will say I am excited that it looks like that they're building a big stage up there, and the main reason why I'm excited is for the opening ceremony potential. That if you are going to rope drop this, you're actually going to be able to see things going on, which
Mm-hmm.
normally you cannot see much at all for the opening ceremony. There's actually a big potential here for at least have something that you can actually see and cheer, which that doesn't happen too much because most of it happens on the ground, and unless you're in that first couple of rows, you're not seeing much. I think the exception was like, I think 2014 they had the purge people like up on some of the railings, kind of like on the buildings on the side and stuff. So they have done stuff up that you can see it, but they haven't done it in a while, and so I think there is some potential here. So I am excited for this zone, but it is still my number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're basically on the same exact page then.
Except me.
Except you. But we can go back to you then, because everyone's done the number 5. And your number 5 shocked me.
Yeah, I don't think my number 4 is going to shock you that
here we
much. I'm going to go right into what you guys were saying. Dr. Oddfellow's a collection of horrors. The reason I put it at 4 and not at 5 is very selfish. I've never seen a full-on icon, not like new icon, not counting icons captured. Pumpkin Lord is, I've used to consider him an icon. I think I still do. I still consider him an icon, but he also didn't have a lot going for him that year. I feel like this year
He was stuck in a pumpkin.
He farted a lot. I was very upset. But I mean, the way the stage is set up now, it looks like Dr. Oddfellow is going to be out there. He's going to hopefully be talking. I'm hoping he's mic'd. It looks like there could be 2 places because there's a big truss with the stairs going up. That he could either go be up there, he could be on the little stage they have. Like, I think there's many options they can use for actual interaction in that zone compared to I'm just gonna hit my voice lines over and over and over again, and that's the zone. So that's what excites me. Not particularly what's going to be featured in there. I think we'll just see the characters we do from the zone. It'll be whatever. But Dr. Oddfellow himself being, I assume that's his main form right in that entrance zone. That's what excites me, and that's why I put it at 4 instead of 5.
So we probably don't have anything to add because that's one number different.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, my next one. I feel like maybe we're shocked it wasn't my 5th, but maybe we're not. But I couldn't put it any higher than 4, and it's Jungle of Doom. And it's not that I'm not excited for it. I have said that the sets and everything, I'm feeling better about it. The Bat Boys, the Bats, I love them. But I could not. I'll get to Shipyard, but I had to put it above this one.
Okay.
I really like the sets over there right now. I'm sorry. I'm like an industrial girl, I guess. Just, but I don't know. I've always said it, like jungles and stuff like that. I need to see the creatures to be excited about this, and we do weekly hype lists, so it's probably going to move around anyways.
That's really fair.
It does make sense. You're from South Florida, and South Florida does love an industrial complex.
Boy, oh boy, do we!
Industrial Plaza number 37.
32.
Yeah.
This wasn't even about Shipyard. Jungle. But I need to see these characters. I'm really concerned. I love a sequel. I do. Or prequel, whatever we're calling this. But it's 4. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. At least it's not 5.
Yeah.
Going in, remember how I was not excited?
You were.
I was trashing it.
Oh my, yes, you were.
But if those fucking cat masks come out from fucking Banshee, it's 5, and it will never go above 5.
Okay.
I would understand that.
Deal.
Thank you.
Well, my number 4 is Shipyard.
Mm-hmm.
I said it 5 minutes ago. If you are San Francisco based, I am automatically on Hype List going to put you 4 or 5 because that flow sucks every year. Last year flow was better for sure. It was better. I think it finished number 4 still though on my Scare Zone ranking. Anyways, I think the sets look really cool. The scale is great. I do think that the whole like kind of hell block, there's just a bunch of monsters everywhere thing works better as a scare zone than a house, to be fair.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But based off the location and based off how simplistic the concept is, I can't get too excited.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm looking at these other zones, I'm like, there's some really high level concept, and what I'm seeing looks really good. This only has one of those.
That's fine.
Yeah, I completely understand that.
All right, that leaves me to my number 4. I've been going back and forth on this one. I think I'm going to change it up. I just last minute, and I think I'm going to do this a couple of times for the houses as well, because like you said, Duff, I am just back and forth on some of these. My number 4 is Dark Zodiac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know much about zodiac signs. It's just a blind spot for me. And so because of that, I just don't know what to expect. I do think it's probably going to be a pretty cool visual zone, but if I did the research, I could probably get myself a little bit more excited for this, but I'm going in pretty blind when it comes to some of the, like the zodiac references here. So for that reason, it is my number 4.
I'm completely with you there. I really don't know much about the zodiacs at all, and I really do need to research that before going to the event, because I feel like that's pretty important to really get the full grasp of the zone.
I'll give you like a quick little. We'll do like a little PowerPoint for you guys real fast.
Yeah, but I feel like it changes all the time. Like everyone has their own interpretation. You're like, oh yeah, Leo is really loving or rageful. But everyone is like, it feels like everyone has a different like interpretation of it. So I don't know. I can't keep heads or tails. Like if someone always tries to tell me, and it all just kind of seems like it blends together to me. But yeah, please give me a rundown. For sure.
I get it. The reason everything changes is also because the whole point of it is it's everyone's individual perception of people. So it's based off your own zodiac. So no one's two are the same because no one was born at the same time in the same place on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all what it matters. So
well, I mean, I'm sure some people
are, but it's very rare that you come across people who have your exact same star chart. So, well, Mike, we're going to have a little sit-down 365 lesson, and I'm not even the most educated bitch in the room on this. Well, not in this room, but in the HHN room.
Yeah.
So, it's absolutely valid. There's no connection to it, which is also my thing with Jungle. I'm not really, like, an animal, like, going back to, like, Jurassic Park. Haven't seen it. Jungle. Sorry. I'm just, like, not that person. I was into, like, fairy tales, not in jungles. As a kid.
Just outside
I get
the
that.
jungles.
Yeah,
Jungles.
I'm strictly like hard no on jungles. That's my one thing. Not Tarzan, not into it. George of the Jungle, hate it. No.
Well, I'm going to use this opportunity to hop right in because going to my number 3 is Dark Zodiac.
That's fair.
Kind of for the same reason Mike said. It's just, I think there's a lot of potential here that still has me excited enough to put it at number 3 in what seems like a strong scare zone year. I just don't know enough going in about the whole concept of zodiac signs in general.
Fine.
I try to sit there and pick out which one's which. I'm wrong half the time.
Yeah, you are.
I think I called the fish a pescatarian on accident once.
I at least know that's Pisces.
Yes. I meant to say Pisces, but I definitely said pescatarian. But yeah, I just need to learn more about like not what's happening specifically in the zone, but the base concept of zodiac signs.
Yes.
We can do that. The main attributes and all that shit.
Yes.
Listen, you should know which one's fire.
I don't. Which one am I?
Your air.
Air. I am an airhead.
I understand you guys. You guys are guys. I get it. So we're on 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go? Or I'll take it.
Please.
So my number 3, I was going back and forth on my 2 and 3, but I just decided, you know what? What the hell? Let me put this for number 3. Vamp 69.
Whoa.
Yeah, I figured this was going to be a little controversial. And it's only because having now been in the zone and looking at it, or the construction and looking at the construction in person. Besides the art design, the art's great. The colors are great. It very very well feels 69. I love all that good stuff. It feels.
It feels 69.
Oh God!
I love all that stuff.
What did I do? What did I do?
It wasn't me this time.
No, go ahead.
Oh.
It feels very similar right now with props to 85. Very similar. You have the big stage that, sort of similar to 85. You got some, cars and stuff out. I do think in execution, it could be a lot different. A lot. And
it will be. It will be.
Yeah, and I think there is a lot of potential for this to be my number 1 because I love music. I think this will be heavily rooted in music. I think it's going to be the fun zone out of all of them. It looks up my alley, but until I see it in action, my fear of it's just going to feel like 85 will always be there. But I think that will hopefully go away once I actually see it in person and see how everything is executed. So that's why it's number 3 for me.
That's fair. I'm not going there. I already talked about it. Shipyard 32 is my number 3. I really like the crates. I really like that we're getting the little stretchy mesh back. And I think that because it's a bottleneck, a lot of people are going to get their shit rocked because they're going to try to go right. I think that box is placed perfectly.
It definitely is.
People are going to die. Also, the big van. I get it. Let's just Fast and Furious just needs to go away. We need to knock down the building. That's it.
Well, we can't because Chucky's in there. He needs to stay.
We'll leave that, but we'll open up an alleyway. I don't.
Okay.
Know but I really like the crane. Also, my sister, her biggest fear in life is cranes. So this very niche thing that she's afraid of is going to HHN, and I cannot wait to watch her walk under it.
I love that, actually.
Really?
No.
Oh, I was like, when does she go?
The real ones.
Oh yeah,
Not
that bitch can't handle cranes. So I'm really excited, and I think monsters. I think it works better out there than in the house. And I didn't hate Hell. That's a lie. I hated Hell Block. But I didn't it wasn't my 10 the entire. It was Coven was, so it wasn't my 10.
Okay.
So there we go.
There you
I'm
go.
optimistic.
There you go.
H is for Hell.
Exactly. Hell is for Hell.
Shipyard.
Oh.
That's this one, Jonathan.
Exactly. You're right.
Yeah, I will piggyback off of it because my number 3 is also Shipyard 32. I'm excited for this one. I always like to see what they're able to do in San Francisco. I see San Francisco as kind of like a challenge. Like, what are they going to be able to do? Can you do it right? Or is it going to be like, like a Crypt TV? Like the type of situation, so I always like to see what they're going to be able to do there. I think they're going to do this one right. I think if they really lean into the setting and the time period, this could have a really cool vibe. I am not too concerned too much about the returning monsters. I think it'll be utilized a little bit differently than Hellbach Horror. I think the problem wasn't necessarily the returning monsters, it was just how they were executed. I'm excited for this one. I think there's a big potential here for this one to be quite fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
I guess I'll go to my number 2, and that's going to be, it's got to be Vamp 69, which, to be honest, I kind of felt like I wanted to put at 3. But kind of comparing it directly against Dark Zodiac, I think I'm ready to give it a little more expectation from myself.
Okay.
What to expect. I did mention earlier that's because it feels like what we're seeing, it's setting a much more direct scene in place than 85 did. Mm-hmm. Which 55 did exactly that. Van 55 is a top 3 scare zone all time for me. So, yeah, it's a lot of hope going into it. A lot of New York scare zones have let me down recently. So, I could be burned on this. I feel like this is bringing Vamp back to 55 levels. Hopefully,
That'd be amazing.
Okay. It's also my number 2. I didn't get to see 55, but I watched so many videos, and just like 85 was good, but it wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
And I have hope, and it's just, I really love the colors. We don't get a lot of like bright neon things, especially in scare zones. So like, I'm really excited to see what the costuming is like, and kind of also the contrast between the vamps and the hippies, like, because it seems that the vamps are these biker gangs, so it's going to be darker. It's going to be exactly how 55 was with, the people going to homecoming and the vamps. So like, this is just Grease. This is just Grease 2 scary zone, but Grease 2 wasn't hippies. That's what it is. It comes down to that. It's my number 2 because it's Grease 2.
Exactly.
makes sense because 55 was Grease. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Wow. Michelle Pfeiffer, where are you at?
Alrighty, my number 2 is Jungle of Doom. I'm really excited about this one. I've said it before. I'm getting like the Island of Dr. Moreau vibes on this one. I am not the biggest Central Park Zone guy. I just feel like sometimes I feel like this one is the one, like I just have no reason to hang out in it. It's to me, of all the zones, this is the one that really just feels like a walkthrough zone. Like I have to go through it to get to A and B. I would like to hang out in it, but it feels awkward. There's no place to hang out in this zone. And for that reason, it always, like how you say the San Francisco zone kind of always affects your ranking of that. This one, Central Park, is kind of that for me. I've never been really sold in anything in here. But I think this year there's a really potential here because just of what they're already putting in there, the story building that they've done on the podcast. I'm very excited what they do here. And that's why it's number 2 for me.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you, Mike, in terms of not being a hangout zone. I really don't think it is. The times I've experienced Scarecrow last year and Terra Cruentus, I never was even allowed to stop. They always move you. The ops make you move through. I think the days of actually being able to stand in the zone are probably over, unless you go like right in the beginning of the day when no one's in there. I don't think they'll push you out, but you not only there is not really a place to stand, they usually don't allow you to stand. It's just a flow thing,
Yeah, I've never experienced that, but yeah, for sure, it just definitely feels like, the point A to point B. I've never been told to leave, but I've never really tried to hang out in there either. So,
Where would you stand?
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I just stand.
In Trick or Treat, you could fully just sit and watch. Oh, that's it. But stand and watch the little vignette show.
Really?
And I sure do.
Yeah. Oh my God. You could just the principal, like with the kid. You could watch and just kind of watch them go. It was great. Even in
yeah.
28.
Vikings Undead had little
never
shows.
remember. Oh yeah, Vikings 2 and 29. So it was just just recently.
30 and 31 thing. That's so weird.
Yeah. What's up, Universal? I want to talk.
Did anyone have their number 2 left?
I have number 2. Or yeah. So I was a little confused. My number 2 is Dark Zodiac. I was sort of debating between this and Vamp, kind of like you were, Duff. I think the reason I put it at number 2 is because I think it has a very high potential of being something we haven't seen in a very long time. I know everyone's been comparing this to something like 7, and if it can reach 7 levels, I never got to see 7. I know everyone says 7 was one of the best zones of all time. If it can reach those levels, that'd be incredible. I think some of the ways, like some of the creatures can look great. I know they described like some of them are how they might look in like the Oddfellow podcast, and if they can pull it off, that can look amazing. I think the sets right now are good, and I think it has just a high potential to be great. However, there is a high concern, and that's why it's not number 1 for me, that it can become too stage heavy. So they really need to get the balance right. If they can balance the stage and what's happening in the zone, it can be incredible. If it's too much stage or too much in the zone, then I think it could fall fall on my list when we eventually make it. So I think that balance is key for this zone to work.
Yeah. Is that the last number 2? Because I can segue into my number 1.
Wow, really? Is it?
Shocking, I know. If it is anything like 7, if it's anything high concept, vanity ball, fashion, couture, anything, that's what I'm hoping. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's like the surgery kind of like twisted creature aspect of it. But I'm very excited and I'm hopeful. I agree that if it's stage heavy, it's not gonna hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Graveyard thrived because they were, smaller kind of scenes down on the level with us. My optimism in that is that there's nothing out right now except 2 stages.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be a big float or something like that level. It might be mini stages that get wheeled out every night. So it might be something like that, or it might be smaller set pieces that just can't go out. Maybe they're gory because everything is covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know. This one might fluctuate depending on the sets we see in the next week.
Yeah.
So right now it's my number 1. I'm not an astrology bitch, but I have some knowledge, obviously. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to have like a kind of like a photo op zone that if it's like 7, I think it's gonna kill it. So
yeah.
Hey, I'm one of those 7 stands.
Yep.
Favorite scares of all time, and if it reaches those heights, because it definitely does give off that vibe a bit from what we've seen.
Yeah.
So if it reaches those heights, I mean, hey, that's my number 1 of the year, easy at that point, right?
Same. I mean, yeah, I love 7 as well. So yeah, there's definitely potential with this one. I just know nothing going into this one.
Crash course, it's coming.
I guess I'll hop into my number 1 then. You should expect this. It's Jungle of Doom Expedition Horror. I mean, literally just what we've seen, like physically, is enough to put it at number 1. But it's an aesthetic that I really enjoy. It's something about the whole like kind of rich expeditioners of like the 20s, 30s. You see a lot of films like that, and they go in and they get massacred by whatever it is. That's my jam. I don't know why that's so enjoyable.
So you are a jungle bitch.
I'm a jungle bitch.
Okay. So don't look at me crazy next time I say I'm not a jungle bitch.
I'm a jungle bitch.
Jurassic Park's like your favorite thing.
It's not
You are a
in
jungle.
a jungle.
But like it is. Dinosaurs are like
it's in a theme park.
Yeah, but it's like a jungle-y type. I've seen. We're not doing this right now.
The Lost World, on the other hand.
Okay, whatever. It's a fucking jungle.
3.
Duff. You're a jungle bitch. Get over it. I'm a Zodiac bitch. That's why that's your number 1. That's why that's mine.
Fair.
You can go be a jungle bitch.
And I am. It's
and
my
we'll wave
number
at
1.
each other from right in the park.
But like the fucking crash plane and the amount of detail in the like
the
foliage
generic
and the like
plane.
overgrowth going on and all that. It's just it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
I love a set dressing.
I have to jump on to what you just said, Duff, because it's my number 1 as well. I think I've had I think people listen to the podcast would understand, would get it. I've been talking about it a lot. Actually having it now, seen it in person, it looks even better than the photos. It is gorgeous. It is like the plane is beautiful. The foliage is beautiful. The amount of detail they managed to cram in this area, and it's probably not even done yet, is crazy. I mean, the visual storytelling, like you said, of the crash plane and then literally seeing the parachute above you is immaculate. And there's some silly stuff too, like there's somebody cooking rats. That's fun.
The poor babies.
This is why I'm not into it.
The poor babies.
They're killing rats.
But it's food, they gotta survive. I don't. You're giving me a look right now. But I think it's fun. I think if they can really pull off the they were saying, the animal creatures type thing, that it could be really cool. And right now, looking at everything, it looks so immersive. It's probably the most immersive I've seen that zone. Probably ever. Like, I've been going since 20. I think it's the most. I feel like
it definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the most immersive. And even though this likely will be you just walk through and you can't really hang out in it, I'm okay with that because it almost feels like a mini house with how immersive it actually is. And that's walking through it with the lights on. Yeah. It already feels like I'm in the jungle.
And it's done so much to kind of block out the light and really like fully encompass you in this like specific little walkway you're going through. Also, one thing people talk about a lot with that specific location is the pumpkins in the trees. They were phenomenal. That lighting was great. But
Beautiful.
This is lined with torches, and for this specific kind of vibe, I think that is going to look so badass.
Oh yeah.
Especially, I don't think they will, especially for all of them, but if there's actual fire, which they have had actual fire in this zone before,
They have.
Hmm.
that would be so fucking cool.
Fine.
I just think they're a little too close to the walkway for them to do actual fire. So.
Probably. And that stage right in front, pictures don't do it justice. It is humongous.
It's giant. Yeah, you didn't like, if you haven't gone yet and you've only seen pictures, you don't get it. Every time I walk up there, I'm like, holy shit, I forgot this thing's massive. Like, because you kind of compare it to, like the Turquentis one, probably, right?
It looks, to me, it looks
It's like the same
identical to it,
structure, but it just has, I don't know if it's like the way it's been overgrown and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's not really
It's
so
like mossy.
so fully stagey that it just looks like a massive prop. It's just huge.
And I only hope that, there's stairs, someone's going to be up there
Yeah.
at some point. I only hope it's Dr. Oddfellow, and we're experiencing that part of his life. And that would be absolutely incredible. Him maybe showing the skull, the cane of souls or something like that he found there. Like, I think it could be just really cool. So yeah, it's my number one.
Hell yeah.
All right, that leaves me to my number one. I don't think this is a surprise to any of you guys. My number one is Vamp 69. If Duff is a jungle bitch and Jess is what did you say you were? You were
Zodiac bitch.
a Zodiac.
I
I am a hippie bitch.
I love that for all of us.
I just really love this. Everyone has like their era that they're like, I wish that I just grew up in this era. The 60s is that, I just love this music. I love all music, but especially late 60s music. I'm just I am just very excited. The New York zone is pretty good nearly every year. So they have a lot to play with. The stages is going to be amazing. Obviously, there's some potential for disappointment here too, if they don't really go all in on some of this stuff on the stage. And but I am very excited for this one.
Yeah. I mean, those are all very fair reasons. And what's interesting is that, like, looking at all of our lists, nothing, like, I can look at each list and go, makes complete sense. You know? Like, I really can. Like, nothing is placed somewhere where I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I really think this year's lineup of scare zones, at least in concept, are all really, really cool. And I think a lot of that comes to the fact that they're all connected and they all work with each other to really just help make a cohesive event, which is really cool to see. Just like 31s did, but this one even more so.
Yeah, no, yeah. This, and I think that is just basically why this scare zone lineup is so solid. Is that, I could potentially see all of these except for maybe, the big opening zone. I'm never going to put that as my number one, really. Except Anarcade. I think that one actually ended up as my number one.
Yes.
But
that's what you were, an Anarcade bitch. That's
But like, Vanity Ball aside, same. Our Anarcade was not a table of contents zone. It was its own standalone.
It was not.
Yep.
It was not. It was, it was not a table of contents zone, and that's why
it was more of a, here's the vibe of the event.
Right, and like,
which I appreciated.
Maybe this is a table of contents zone that is the vibe of the event.
Yeah.
It very well might be this new hybrid zone we're experiencing for the first time, and it's fantastic. Maybe it's number one.
It's very possible.
But
I don't know if I could ever reach
I
number
didn't
one,
say.
but-
Also, we just have Today Cafe trauma, and I don't know if I can enjoy a zone directly outside of it so soon.
I'm at the point that I can eat Today Cafe and be happy. So.
I ate their good today.
That potato salad, baby.
It'd be hitting. It's,
Oh,
it's the herbs.
it's
Okay,
so
we're not
good.
getting
Okay.
into this right now. We have
so much to go
talk
over.
about.
Yes.
And the shows we have to rank. I'm kidding.
All right,
Cool
let's
list
hop
for
into
all
the
of them.
houses.
All right, who wants to go first on the house? Or wait,
Can we all say
We
it?
all
wait a
the
second.
same thing?
Wait a second. Do we all have the same number 10?
I believe we probably do.
We probably
All right,
do.
Ready?
All right.
Hold on. 3, 2, 1.
Exorcist
Exorcist
believer.
believer.
Yes.
And I'm sorry if it's unfair. We're not going to see the movie until October something.
Mm-hmm.
That's so unfair. We don't know anything about this. Drip drop.
There is a world where this works out and the style, like the trailer style, works out, and we just have a great time. And knowing the movie isn't really an issue. It doesn't really matter. I think there is a world where this ends up, relatively higher in the middle or somewhere like that. I don't think it will end up at 10, but we'll see. But right now, with having no like information really, like besides the stuff from the podcast and the trailer we had, it's hard to put it anywhere but 10.
Yeah, I do agree with you that I highly doubt this ends up number 10 on my actual list at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think from what I've seen from the trailer, there's going to be scenes where, one, the scenes look good. The scenic will be really nice. And two, I think it's going to be scary as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was about to say that. I was about to say this could be probably the scariest of the year. It's still my number 10, but it could be very scary. All right, number 9. Who? I think we might all have the same number 9 too, but I wouldn't say
I
it's
don't
100%
think so.
sure.
No.
I really don't think so.
Oh no. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
No,
who wants
let's
to
do
go
it.
first?
We'll count down and Mike could say it. 3, 2, 1.
No, mine is Blood Moon. Dark.
No.
Actually, no, that's my number 9 too.
I thought that's where that was going, but it's not my number.
Oh, okay. That is
Me
mine.
neither.
Okay, that's fair.
So I have a lot of hope for this house, but just based on kind of everything that we have been told for now. Now, I've been trying to avoid spoilers. People have been trying to tell me spoilers left and right about this. I've been trying to avoid them, and I'm not factoring in any spoilers, but I have it in number 9. Now, if it blows me away with sets, it's obviously has potential of being my number 1. But just based on everything that we have been told so far, it is at my number 9. It definitely has the biggest room to grow, though, for sure, for me.
Yeah, so my thing is, 9 is not bad.
No.
Not this year.
Would
Yeah,
not
exactly.
do this. 9 through 1 are all like 5 and up any other year. So like 9 is not bad. I'm very excited for this house. I love historical things. I love pieces like that. I really like the podcast. I know it's like a very basic story. Mike, I know you're not. Did you listen to it or no? You're not trying to do that?
I'm trying to avoid it. Yeah.
Okay, so I won't say anything about it, but I liked it. It's a very basic story that we've heard before from other things, but the way that they describe the blood moon sounds really cool.
Yep.
And I've heard that this is going to be gory as shit. So like, I'm really excited, but I could not put it above anything else.
That's so
It
fair.
was impossible.
Yeah, I understand. I will say it was my number 9 for basically since we've known everything.
Mhm.
And that has changed. I'll get to why when I get to that house,
Okay.
but yeah. I understand why you guys have it at 9 completely.
I'll just say my 9 now. It might be controversial, but it's Yeti.
No. Okay.
Campground Kills. Mainly for the facts I've said before. I am worried that it's going to feel a lot like Terror of the Yukon. I feel the sets will be different, and it probably will be like a lot funnier, like they've implied. And I like the 50s aspect. I just sort of like Vamp 69. I need to see it to get that fear out of my head. Seeing the poster and the All Hallows Eve, the art they gave didn't help me at all. I kind of was like, oh, it's a Yeti. Okay. It didn't give me any help, or I don't know, like hope for it. But I think there is a world where it rises a lot once I actually see it in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I understand that completely. And I think a lot of people have Yeti pretty low overall. Not saying even in this room, just in general, a lot of people have Yeti pretty
Yeti
low.
fatigue. It's real.
It is.
No, I feel like it might actually be. It's too soon, personally, but I didn't think it will. Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll get the fun started then. My number 9 is Stranger Things.
I was expecting that, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Wow.
When he didn't say Yeti, I'm like, okay, it has to
Crazy.
be.
All I talked about for 2 years now is Stranger Things season 4 is kind of the best
Yeah.
suited for horror nights, and it'd be great. And there's so many scenes they can pull from. I don't know, guys. I don't know how all in they're going to go here. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many concerns, and I just can't get it out of my head. I mean, I think I'm in Hollywood. I did the same thing. Basically, I put it really low, and I think there's more reason to there. So maybe Orlando side a bit more unwarranted, but it's all about hype, and for some reason, I cannot get super excited about what they're going to do with this property.
We've talked about it before. With every property that's come out besides Exorcist believer. It feels like there are a lot of creators who are on Twitter have sung praise. It'd been like, especially with something like The Last of Us and stuff, they're like, oh my goodness, this is so crazy. We're doing everything. We're big fans. Like, we're ready. Stranger Things, it felt like it was almost dead silent, besides like maybe one post.
Mhm.
And it could be the fact that they literally, like, Netflix is keeping them entirely tight-lipped and they're not allowed to say a damn thing. Could be that. Or it could be that they, weren't too excited about it or something like that. So I definitely understand why it's number 9, and I think it's completely valid.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be upset, but I'm not mad.
Yeah. Sorry. I love the property. I am excited to see the property return.
Yeah.
I just think there's a good chance that it's not going to be what we want it to be, is more what it is.
Wow.
I'm
Jess,
excited
you
to
still
hear
have
that.
your number 9, right? Or
Yep, mine was Blood Moon as well.
Oh, okay. So then I can piggyback off of you, Duff, because of my number 8, and it feels blasphemy to put it this low because I am really excited for this house, but that is Stranger Things 4.
This is coming from a Stranger Things
Yeah.
HHN 29 defender.
Yes, and the main reason is I am concerned more than the last one, which was kind of turned into a book report. I'm a little bit more concerned this year that it's going to turn into that, and it's not going to be very scary, just because Vecna is the main person and he is only in certain scenes. And so if you're going to try to tell the story, so we're either going to get only Vecna stuff, or we're gonna get mostly just stuff going on that is not really scary, but you're just kind of watching main big scenes, kind of going through. So I am a little bit, whereas there was more visual appeal, I think, in season 2 and season 3 with the Starcourt Mall and the Mind Flayer and some of the the big explosion scene. While it was all kind of static and it wasn't necessarily done perfectly, I feel like there was a lot of visual change. In season 4, there are some giant iconic moments for sure that I can't wait to see how they pull off. But other than that, I'm a little bit concerned. I have to be honest about what we're going to see here, and what they're going to do for scares. If it's really just Vecna is the main character.
I'm shocked. I'm not gonna lie.
Same.
I thought you would have it the highest of us, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I want to
Great
love it,
thinking.
and it might be my number 1 if they pull it off correctly. But I do have some concerns for it, unfortunately.
Okay. Wow. Dang. Well, I'm going to piggyback off Jonathan because my number 8 is Yeti. So I really do think Yeti fatigue is real, just like anything else we've seen now multiple times. I think it might be too soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned that the setting is also snowy because the food booth has snowshoes on it.
Oh.
And I feel like that might be too similar.
Yeah.
Campground, snow.
I get it.
Canada and the Rockies are different.
But you see snow and you're just going to think Terror of the Yukon.
Yeah, and the setting might not really, the time period might not be enough to really set it apart for me.
Mm-hmm.
Am I excited regardless because the Yetis are fun? Yeah. But like you said, the store over in IOA, the picture literally just being like that peanut head Yeti again is like, okay, we're really just okay, guys. Like, this is just getting lazy now. This is like, you're kind of pulling a Hollywood, but just pulling like a little facade over it and expecting us to be like, it's different. But I'm still excited for it. I love the Yetis. I loved 29's Yeti. I really did.
29's Yeti was great.
I hope this one knocks that one out of the park. I hope we get the arm scare, but right now it's sitting at 8.
Okay.
Huh?
You know what? I had something at 8, and I think I'm going to change it on the spot. This is my first change on the spot thing. It's going to piggyback off of you and Mike. It's Stranger Things.
There we go.
For number 8, for really all the reasons you've said. I've been pretty down on it for a while. If you guys have heard on the podcast, I think there was a lot of potential, and I think it can be great and not, and translate all the scenes really well and be told well and be just a great haunted house. I just think that's hard in general because there's some places in season 4 that, I mean, even the trailer for the house shows that Vecna Mind Layer that is going to be very hard to actually translate. Can they pull it off? I don't know. Along with the sort of lack of enthusiasm for it from people on Twitter, and my fear that we're just going to follow. We're just going to see a lot of Vecnas. I don't think that would be entirely my thing, but we'll have to see. So, yeah, number 8 for Stranger Things.
Wow, I'm not alone. Look at this.
Never go alone, Duff.
I didn't say you guys were completely.
No, I know. Does anyone have an interesting number 7 they want to kick us off with? That might be surprising.
Maybe, probably, actually, yeah. Mine probably will surprise people.
Here we go.
My number 7 is Chucky.
Go ahead.
And I feel like this could be surprising because I actually had Hollywood's Chucky quite high, mainly because, and I believe it was like my number 3 or something, or number 2, mainly because John Murdy was so excited about that Chucky. And if John Murdy, I think that one has the potential to really shine over there. I'm a little worried that this one over here is going to get lost in the muddled, really, really a solid year of IPs and originals, where this one kind of falls into the middle road of it, and it just never gets out for me. I think it's has potential of being really good, but I have to say that I'm not the biggest Chucky guy in the world. I really like that they're going to go meta here, and then I'm not going to need to know all the Chucky lore to enjoy it. But that being said, it is my number 7.
It is also my number 7.
Oh, okay.
And Mike, you literally pulled the words out of my brain. I love the meta aspect of it. I really hope we get like house attendants that are actually scare actors, like stuff like that kind of set up in the house.
Oh, that would be fun.
Because it says he's possessing everybody.
Yeah.
I would love. I don't think we'll get it ops wise because it's not feasible. But like how we had the plants, like the scare actor plants in line. That would be so cool.
It would be amazing.
But like, I don't think we're there. We're way past that. That was what in like The Purge was the last time, I think. Sorry, The Myth. Not to bring up the Myth, Mike. But I think that would be really cool. But again, in Hollywood, it wasn't ranked very high either.
You said it was your number 7?
Yeah.
What number are we on?
7.
7.
That was Mike.
What? I haven't done an 8.
You literally asked, does anyone have an interesting 7?
I meant number 8.
You asked that. You asked that.
My bad.
You let it in.
Oh, I know.
Rewind.
You don't have to rewind.
No, I know. We're just going.
Just do your 7 and 8 like back to back.
He made me feel so dumb. I was like, what did I do?
Well, I was asking the question. I was confused. Anyways, I'll go through 8 quick. It's probably actually the more surprising of the two, but it's actually for both these. I'm going to preface with I'm very excited for the originals this year.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8 is Universal Monsters Unmasked.
Whoa.
Right. Nope. No.
That's fair, though.
Absolutely not. I'm done. I'm leaving the show. I can't do this anymore. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, the Duff. I don't know.
Mike, are we going to start a spin-off show?
Yeah. Well, we might have to.
132.5. Or no, that's not even it. Whatever.
I'm gonna do it quick because I think it's gonna be a while. Well, maybe not at this point because I'm still a house behind. That will be talked about, but I'm worried how they pull off the sets and the setting in general, and how they utilize the monsters within these settings. That's my main concern. My number 7 is also Chucky. Same as Mike. It was number 2 on my Hollywood hype list and is now number 7 suddenly in Orlando. And it does come down to John Murdy being super stoked about the property and that making a huge difference. I am also not a huge Chucky guy in general, so that's why it falls here.
I mean, I will say, as obviously resident Chucky lover that you're gonna see later, it is rumored. I guess it's not official. It's not official, but it's been rumored by many sources that it's in Fast and Furious this year. We even have the booth right outside of Fast and Furious, so that location is definitely going to be interesting for the property, and definitely probably will affect hype on it because I like the use of the location in Blumhouse, but also Blumhouse kind of worked because it was 2 separate properties. You had the little break in the middle, so it was, it kind of worked for that. How well it worked for a property that is sort of all one thing, I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
Jonathan, what's your number 7?
My number 7, I just changed it quickly, but it's going to be Blood Moon Dark Offerings. There are, kind of like what Duff was saying recently, there are like a lot of things that I'm not too hyped for it. The podcast was interesting, but didn't give too much detail. The description doesn't give too much detail. The art doesn't give too much detail either in the store or the or the actual house art. But there's an article that came out and has a lot of spoilers, so we did not discuss it. If you want to read it and get spoiled, you can find out. Just search up Agent 32 in news. I'm sure it will pop up. But there was a little interesting tidbit about this house that isn't a spoiler. It's very generic. I'll give you the generic rundown of why it all of a sudden reached to number 7 on my list, and that it has great sets. It compared the sets to another thing, but I'll say that's too much of a spoiler, so I'll just say it has great sets, and that's what the article made sure to note, and that immediately gets me really excited because something like this I wasn't expecting to have great sets. I don't know why. It's not something that popped into my brain. But if this can be like the set house this year, or just have really solid sets, that automatically makes it rise above the other things under it. It's pretty much as simple as that. And I hope it works out. I hope it ends up being as beautiful as the article promised it was going to be.
All right. Who wants to go with their number 6?
I can piggyback
Yep,
off
go
Jonathan. Okay. Yeah, so Blood Moon Dark Offering is my number 6. It's something that a few days ago I probably would have had at number 9, but it made it up to 6 for some reason. I've convinced myself it's going to be like Roanoke Cannibal Colony and just super gory and crazy and decent sets. And yeah, I just can't get more hyped because I don't know enough, but I want to be more hyped. You know what I mean? Like it started at 9 and now it's up to 6. And I'm like, I kind of want to put it higher, but I can't yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a feeling this one can go all
It could.
the way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I said
Yeah,
that too.
this
I
season.
could, I wouldn't be shocked. It could go from 9 to 1 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's just not knowing enough yet, but I find myself getting more excited for no reason. Just me doing it to myself. I'm like, you know what? This sounds like it could be great suddenly.
Yeah.
You talked yourself up.
I've convinced myself.
So talking about convincing yourself, I'm going to piggyback off that. You guys have all talked about it already, but Stranger Things is my number 6.
Oh.
Okay.
It was my 9 when I started
Really?
this.
Okay.
I started this at work in my head, and it was a very solid 9. And then I talked myself up.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, they learned their lesson in 29, guys. There's no way. But now you guys are really making me nervous, and I almost changed it on the fly, but I didn't. So I'm very optimistic. I'm excited to see how they use the kids now that they're older.
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't scare us before. I'm hoping it's at least going to be scary.
So you say they couldn't scare us before, but Dustin in Stranger Things 2 and 3 scared the shit out of
That
me.
wig scared me. The Dustin mannequin as well. Don't forget him.
You
R.I.P.
can never forget the Dustin
I'm
mannequin.
pretty sure he lived in Blumhouse last year.
Oh, maybe.
I flew up.
I screwed up, Mom. But yeah, I've talked myself up this ledge, and maybe it's just because I'm excited to see like Eddie. Like I really am excited to see their interpretation of that scene.
Okay.
It's my number 6. I'm probably gonna regret that after next week.
We'll
see.
find out.
Or maybe we're all gonna be like screaming about it. But
Could be number 1. Who knows?
I think there's an IP we're all gonna be screaming about, and we haven't talked about it yet. And we'll get there.
Mhm.
So yeah.
All right. My number 6 is Yeti Campground Kills. I'm excited for this, guys. I really think that they're going to. It's going to feel like a nearly different house. I think the Yeti is merely just kind of a catalyst here. I don't think it's going to be really affected by, we've seen the Yeti a lot, sure. But, you can swap in any monster and you put it in a fun setting. The the actual monsters doesn't really matter to me. To me, it's more it's special effects and the storytelling that's really going to make or break this original house for me. And I really think, I mean, I'm a sucker for camp. I was worked at a summer camp. This is just a very iconic setting for me. And I really just I have high hopes for this one.
I can piggyback off because Yeti is my number 5.
Okay.
So I think it's setting for me. I think going into the kind of and we've talked about it, Deadly Ambush at House Scream Orlando. That's kind of my vibe
too.
fully,
That was so
and it
good.
feels like it's going to go that way. I think it's the era and the styles that brings, especially like at a camp, that it just feels like the setting is going to be perfect. It's going to be goofy, and I think it's going to be something that does finish kind of middle of the pack. So it makes sense that it would end up at my number 5.
Yeah. I have my number 6 here. And
I skipped you. My bad.
No, you're all good. It made sense. You were picking back off a mic.
You're killing it.
But my number 6, I think you had it at 8. I think Universal Monsters
Yes.
Unmasked.
Mike, we gotta start the spin-off show. I'm done with
Jess,
that.
I'm having deja vu here.
I know.
I really.
You could be the Backseat Monsters. That's your podcast.
The back. Fuck you guys.
I have a lot of the same concerns as you do, Duff, about the setting and fitting all the monsters in. But fitting all the monsters in is my main concern. When it was originally rumored that it was just going to be Phantom and Dracula, obviously we wanted it to be Phantom versus somebody else. I was really excited, or not even versus, just featuring 2 monsters. I'm like, that's great. That'd be perfect. Set in Paris, have the 2 Paris monsters would be wonderful. I feel like we have too many now. I feel like they're not going to be able to balance it that well because there's a difference between something like Universal Monsters in 2019, which was a compilation. It was very much a here's this monster, here's this monster, here's this monster. And it was fine because it wasn't really following a story. It was just here's these awesome scenes. But this one, they're very heavily leaning into they are following a story. And we were having so many characters. And I think there's risk of one character taking over compared to others, that some characters will have very little screen time, that some characters will be in there only a little bit. That's my main concern. Can they balance it? And I don't know if they can. I hope they do. I want something with Phantom of the Opera and the Invisible Man and Jekyll and Hyde to succeed, and for them to be able to use monsters that are not
fuck Quasimodo.
And Hunchback. I don't want to list all of them, but I want it to succeed because I don't want to keep seeing Dracula houses, But I'm worried they're putting too much in this house and that it's not going to end up working. But it's at number 6 for a reason. I'm still incredibly hyped, and I think there is a world where this ends up at number 1 because of just the location and the monsters and everything like that. So yeah,
I have so much to say. I'm gonna bite my tongue and I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for when it comes out on my list. Just like I did when Duff brought it up.
Mm-hmm. We're on number 5 now. Did we skip anybody else?
No, I think we're good.
All right. So my number 5, nobody's talked about it yet, so I want to talk about it. Darkest Steel.
Okay.
And it's not that I'm not excited. Again, it's number 5. That's
reasonable.
There's so much room to grow. I'm afraid it's my Coven of the year. That is my biggest fear. I wanted to put it in the top 4, but the story, I feel like after the podcast this past week is getting convoluted, and I feel like that might have been Coven's issue. Is we had this podcast episode, there was so much involved in it, and we had all this backstory, and then we got there, and the sets and the stories were not lining up after the first third of the house.
Yep.
And that's my fear going into this. But like I said before, the collector is hot at the Hallows Eve store, whatever the fuck it's called. So I'm excited to meet him. He's obviously, I really think he's going to be Oddfellow. So I'm excited to see if that does tie in. But we'll see. But yeah, Darkest Tale.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I get it. Yeah, I completely get that.
Yeah.
Still have a number 5?
No, I'm the one who skipped ahead. So
Jonathan, do you have a number 5?
No, last time I was behind.
No, your number 5 was Monsters, right?
My number
Okay.
6.
Go
was
ahead and do
Monsters.
your number 5.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, that it's all the way at number 5 and not.
God,
I'm so sorry.
it is.
I'm so sorry. Dueling Dragons.
What, Jonathan?
I'm really excited for it. Once again, 9 and up, and really 10 too, are all like super hyped. My only reason number 5 is Dueling Dragons is because I didn't experience the ride. I have no connection with the lore or anything like that. But I do think it's going to be great. I think that they can pull it off, that the setting is just perfect for an HHN house, that the dragons, if they can pull them off, can like look amazing. The dual pass that they've been talking about could be one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in a haunted house, because I've never experienced a dueling path before. Or dueling, it works for the house title. And I think there's lots of things that this house can do really well. My fear is, will it actually be able to execute it the way that everybody's wanting it to? I don't know. This house has a lot to live up to. It has to hit the lore. It has to make sure the dragons actually look good. It has to make sure that the sets are accurate to the ride and also can work in a haunted house format. I think there's a lot in this that they can mess up on, and that's why it's at number 5. But I feel like if they succeed and everything is perfect and exactly what everyone wants to be, it can end up at number 1 or 2 for me. So that's why it's sort of in the middle of the pack here. But I'm very excited for it. But yeah, that's just where it landed.
You were really trying to save ass by saying how excited for it you were.
I really am excited.
I swear, I'm so excited.
It's
guys.
funny that worked out that way because Jonathan just got all the heat. My number number
no.
5. And this is solely just because the stuff in front of it, I just am a little bit more excited for. It has nothing to do and on any other year, this could be like a 1 or 2 hyped house. There's just so much in front of it. Is Dueling Dragons. But I'm not going to say anything negative about it because I am super stoked. I think the split path is going to be super awesome. I'm really excited for it. I am a little worried that it might not be the scariest house ever, but that's not a concern for me because I don't need super scary houses necessarily. But I think this is going to be a really solid house. This could end up as my number 1. I think the sets are going to be amazing. I think the special effects are going to be amazing. The storytelling is going to be amazing. This is going to be an amazing house. It's just, I potentially see just 4 others that could be just more amazing. And that's where it falls at number 5. It's just a stacked year. I don't know what else to say.
It really is.
I'll tell you my worry is I need 2 new co-hosts.
I said nothing bad. I said nothing negative. I said
I'm kidding.
I said nothing negative. What am I supposed to do? Drop something like
Yes, you are.
Wait, I have a question for Jonathan and Mike. Did you both get to experience Dueling Dragons?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. So you have no connection to it, Jonathan.
No.
I'll forgive you.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm happy that park lore is being implemented into HHN. I think that's the coolest thing ever. I just don't have any connection with that particular park lore, besides being in Lost Continent, but not actually seeing the ride.
Okay, because I'm not going to talk.
I'm just looking at my other 4, and I don't know. I'll get to it soon. Yeah, I don't know. They're all
fine.
I don't know what else I could say. I don't. Yeah, these are all really solid, and we'll get to them in a second.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. Number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah. Which one of you guys wants to start?
Spider-Man.
I can go. Do you want? My number 4 is Oddfellow. I have to say that early on, I was really concerned about this house. I thought it was going to be just the clown house. I was really worried that they were just going to lean into the bright colors and the carnival aspect of it. Those fears are set aside now with all the stuff that we have gotten now. I think Oddfellow is just a really captivating icon. I'm so excited to see him flesh out the story, that we've got little tidbits. This is one of the the podcasts where they kind of I did listen to the podcast where they just kind of gave us little tidbits about each house, and of that podcast, this was the one that they felt most excited about to talk about, and so I'm really excited about it. I think we're gonna get a lot of lore. We're gonna we get to see the iconic scene with Jack. There's just so much to be excited for this house. The setting. All those fears that I had early on are set aside, and it is my number 4.
I think I have the same situation as you. I don't have it here, but where early on I was very concerned that it was just going to be very carnival, just carnival. And they have alleviated those concerns with the podcast and all the additional info we received. So I'm totally with you on the fact that it has taken a huge jump just based off what we've learned recently.
Yeah. It's also my number 4. And same issues. I was worried. Clowns don't do it for me, but he is so much more than a clown. We've learned that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it last week or whatever week. I am a lore whore through and through. And this man is being retconned into everything, apparently. So I love that. I love an icon. I love that this is also my first icon. I'm calling him an icon. I don't care. Mike Aiello said it. He is one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he is.
Like, I'm not arguing this anymore, people. Like,
You've been arguing outside of like
I
one or
don't
two
fucking
people.
care. I don't pay attention anymore. That's the issue.
No
I'm
one
too
is.
tired.
All
to
I
pay
see is people
attention.
saying, "Are you stupid?" Of course he's
Yeah.
an
Okay.
icon.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Cool. I think it's great. I think I'm very excited to meet my first icon. He's the first person of color,
Mhm.
and him getting his own house. I think it's in a perfect spot for him. One of the 10 houses. And, I don't think we're getting what I said. We spray painting the tent a little into a circus tent, but there is a tent being built in front of it for the entrance. So I'm very excited. I don't know how much more I can say. I think it's going to be like sick and twisted.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like Twisted Origins.
I was just calling it Oddfellows. Like I said, these taglines,
Yeah.
they're not in my head.
Not
It's
yet.
not
Not
just
yet.
that.
Not
It's just
yet.
dragons.
Not yet.
So I'm very excited to meet him. I can't wait. That's why he's number 4.
Yeah. I wonder if we have the same number 4. Maybe. My number 4 is The Darkest Deal. I guess we don't.
Wow.
Yeah, it was gonna be higher, but the thing, I mean, like Mike was saying, the things above it are just above it. I think Darkest Deal has the potential to be my number 1. I love story-driven houses when they can actually tell the story in a unique way in a haunted house format. I think that's the coolest thing ever. I think the podcast gave a lot of story that if we see that in the house, or actually the podcast felt like a prequel to the house. That's leading up to the events of the house itself, or at least the start of the house. But I think it sounds great. I love the idea of it just sort of going a little dark. I don't know how to, in that sort of sense. I am, Darkest Deal, dealing with forces. Dealing with the devil. It's not the devil, but it is. Like
Collector.
It's not the collector. It's the devil. That's the dark. Going into
Would
that.
you rather his wings be ripped off like the Fallen?
I don't know,
His
but
horns, whatever.
whatever. But I'm really excited about that. But I have the same concerns as you, Jess. There is a world where if they don't get the story right, it completely fails. Falls on its face and ends up number 10. Like, no question. If they cannot get that story right, the house does not work, at least from everything we've heard so far about the house. So that's why it's at number 4 and not at number 1, because I feel like there is a world where it just doesn't work. And I don't want to put it at number 1 and get really sad. So
Spirit to the Coven.
Exactly. So it's a number 4 now. But once again, the part I'm most, I'm excited for the story, and I'm excited that it's dealing with the collector devil. I think that's cool in a haunted house.
So you seem surprised that wasn't my number 4.
I was.
And I think part of it is because you had expected this one to be higher for me in Orlando, at least. It's one I want to put in the top 3, top 2 even, so bad. However, I am very excited for the originals this year. So my number 4 is The Last of Us.
You've ranked it the lowest.
Yes.
Out of all of us
Correct.
so far.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You were Mr. Last of Us.
Yeah, I know.
Poster boy.
Hi.
Was...
Hello.
Okay, wow.
Hey.
How'd you
I think it is going to be great. I think they're going to go all in. I think the scale is going to be amazing. I think the sets are going to be beautiful. Now we've literally seen what a clicker can look like, and it looked great. The stories for the originals above it are just very exciting for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say anything to bring Last of Us down. It's just everything above it is higher.
Yeah. We're gonna get to the point where we're all saying that. Like,
no, I think we're at that point.
I think
Basically,
we're all
right?
in pain right
Like
now.
the thing is, The Last of Us. If this finished number one for me at the end of the year, zero surprise, none at all.
That's fair.
Outside of the fact, 2 years in a row to have an IP number one, that's crazy. That would shock me. But this specific house, I would understand why.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else to add. I'm sorry. I'm excited for it. Very excited for it.
All right. Who has a number 4 still? Does anyone?
No, I don't think so. I think we're
Number
all
3.
on
Well, I
number
will
3.
go to piggyback off of Duff's then, because my number 3 is The Last of Us. I am so excited. I have been replaying the game. I'm gonna rewatch the show again. I think this. I knew that the makeup would be amazing, but now we've started to see some of the sculpts. This is just going to be so good, guys. I had a little bit of fear. I would say maybe early on, if they didn't get the makeup right, this would flop. But I don't have that fear anymore. I think that this is going to just be so good. I can't wait.
I'm going to piggyback off you, Mike, because The Last of Us is my number 3 as well. And it's funny because, like you were saying, like early on, it was lower for me because I just saw Descendants of Destruction, and Descendants of Destruction was my number 2 last year. I loved it. I had like a lot of elements that I really enjoyed. But the minute Last of Us was announced, I was excited, loved the show. Then I played the game and I loved the game. But I was also like, is it going to feel too similar to Descendants of Destruction? Is it going to have vibes that are, just a little too similar? But I mean, after literally seeing the food booths and seeing everything they're building, even the stuff in the Taste of Terror, looking at that, I'm like, no, it's not. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's not going to be too similar. This feels like a completely different vibe, even if it's the same sort of idea of, sort of a, apocalypse type situation. But no, it looks completely different, and everything they're putting into it, even the food booths, looks like they're putting tons of money into those. So I can only imagine what the house is like. And the fact that we've been getting more information about how Naughty Dog has been working so closely with HHN to the point where they got the original voice actors for Joel and Ellie to actually record new lines for the haunted house, which is crazy. That fact alone just tells me it's not just a company, saying shit, to say, oh, we're excited about HHN. It means, no, they're excited about HHN, and they're going to do whatever they can to make sure this is accurate to the games. So that's why it's number 3. And there's a chance it ends up going number 1, just like you said, Duff. I'm very excited for it.
I don't have anything to back off that at all right now.
Well,
do you have a number 3, or did you already say yours? Was that?
No, I do have one. It exists. Yes. You'd like me to take it?
No, I mean I can go.
No, it's fine. I got it. Yeah. Is it? Oh no, I don't remember.
It's my last original, which is shocking. My first 2 are IPs.
Oh.
So is it not the same? So my number 3 is Dragons, and I've never had no originals in my top 2. I'm an original
That
bitch
is
through
crazy.
and through. Wow. Since I've ever gone.
And my top 3 is all originals. So.
Which and like they are all gonna move up. I know they are, but like I couldn't. I'm so excited for 1 and 2. We'll get there. But Dragons, I am a dragon bitch.
Not a jungle bitch.
Not a jungle, not a dinosaur. Dinosaurs and dragons are completely different.
Completely different.
But
Yeah, one was real.
Shut up. I love medieval. Like, I said this before, I grew up going to the Renaissance Festival with my best friend. Like, I love all of this shit. I'm so excited to see it, and the fact that it's theme park lore. And before I was an HHN lore whore, I was a theme park lore person. Like, I'm so excited for this. And the 2 different paths, I didn't get to see, oh my god, Tomb. I know it was a very short-lived path. Wasn't there a second path? Or like a
second path. There was
Big
an
term?
ADA path
Oh,
and a
her-
non-ADA
okay, so
path.
It was like fucking Dead Waters or whatever. With the boat. You could go the boat or you could
ADA or non-ADA.
Yeah, ADA, it's
I
the
think
same
this is a
thing.
little different, but
Okay,
okay.
but I'm saying I thought it was a second path. I'm excited to see 2 separate endings or whatever they are. And I think that they're gonna hit out of the park. It's their own story. We're gonna see the sign again from Carnival Graveyard. So
I'm sure.
I'm very excited for dragons. I'm sorry.
You don't have to
Nothing to
apologize.
add
I
right
think
now.
we're all
I know
very
you-
excited for it.
No.
I'm not sorry. I'm sorry to the originals that are not in my top 2
Um,
because it's always originals.
Really shows how stacked of an IP,
Yeah.
like IPs, we
I'm
have this
shocked.
year.
Even though none of them cracked my top 3.
Yeah.
So I'll say my number 3 right now. And this is one that I feel is very contingent on. It's Darkest Steel.
Okay.
Okay.
Very contingent on the story, as has been brought up by you guys before. And it can flop hard. But if it hits, it is gonna hit.
Pound
Mhm.
strong.
And I know we're thinking Spirits of the Coven. It's kind of taking that approach of like kind of high concept for the story. But I gotta believe. I just gotta believe. The concept is so fun. The setting is so fun. We've kind of seen what the facade looks like now too. Looks great.
Yeah.
I am so excited. I thought the podcast episode on it was probably my favorite so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to put it lower just because I am concerned, but its ceiling is so high that I can't.
Yeah. You know what? So we all did our 3, right?
Yeah.
So I bet our 2 is the same now. I think it is. Because I
Probably.
think I know what your 1 is.
It is. It definitely
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Okay. My number 2 is Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins. Like everyone has been saying, I've had concerns in the beginning, but now that we've seen how prominent Dr. Oddfellow is going to be this year, and that he is the icon of everything, of the zones. Like he seems like he is the first new original icon since 26 that has me really hyped, because this means, like you were saying, Jess, this is my first icon. Pumpkin Lord kind of, but this
Yeah.
is a like full on icon of icon years. And I'm so stoked, and that's why it's so high. I want to see a full-on icon house. The podcast that we got gave a lot of information about what might be in this house, and it all looked great. And the fact that the lore of this house ties into the lore of the event, ties into the lore of every zone, and ties into the lore of HHN past is the coolest thing. And the fact that, I actually will get to experience things that have, been hinted at and mentioned in the past, HHN past, in a way that I can now say I am part of that, compared to I've just looked at it and just heard about it, is something that is super important to me. Because there have been past years where I've seen in 30, I saw a lot of the past icons, and it was cool, but I didn't really say, oh, like those are my icons, or I could really connect with them. They were kind of just, remember me, but I never got to remember them. I never saw them before. This will be the first time I see an icon like born, in a way, like have his own event. Okay, I don't want to see that, but like have his own event. And I think that's just so damn cool. And seeing his origin in a house is exactly what I wanted. So yeah, number 2 for me.
As we established, it's also my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of the same, well, take out the whole first part, but all the other reasons, yes. And I think a big part for me is how they've not just gone back and are like kind of implementing him into the event however they can. It's fully like answering questions. Like one, we're going to specifically see, why is Jack immortal? In this house, that is going to happen. It may not directly say that in the scene, but we know now literally why.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just the way they're utilizing an icon like this, not just to have one, but to actually have him fill in the gaps of HHN lore is so impressive. And like I said before, I was concerned about the carnival aesthetic, and it sounds like that's not the route they're going at all. Obviously, that is going to play a part. It has to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like once you get in there, it's not a carnival anymore. So, yeah, I'm just ready to see an icon house bang again, because it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, 26 certainly wasn't that. For
Yeah, it
you.
was not that, to say the least. So I have a lot of hope for it. I think its floor is very high. It's the Icon House too, like, and a great icon. He seems like he's going to be fucking phenomenal as an icon.
Mm-hmm.
So, number 2. I think in most years it'd be number 1, but right now, number 2.
All right. Well, I'll go with my
Okay.
number 2. My number 2, I believe it's the highest anyone has it, and that is The Darkest Deal. I am so
Okay.
excited for this house. It is my highest original. I am not going to let what happened with Spirits of the Coven affect my hype for this. I
You're
get
gonna burn twice.
the
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson?
I get the similarities. I think they're both going to be a slow build, and they're both going to be moody, and they're both going to be story driven. But the difference is that I think that this is actually going to build to somewhere where I'm on the record of the first 4 rooms of Spirit of the Coven. I think are very fantastic. I think they did really well. It was just once we got out of there and we got into the barrel rooms, it didn't go anywhere, and then it was just kind of the same stuff. It didn't build anything. I think with this one, I think we've already been told a little bit that it's going to build to something, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait. I think that it's going to be just so visually stunning and story and the story is going to be great. I just can't wait. I'm definitely hyping myself up. Duff, you are right. This could flop, but I don't think it will. I don't think this is going to flop the way Spirits did.
Yeah, I'm happy it's that high on your list. I really am.
Optimism. I like it.
Yeah.
My number 2 is The Last of Us.
Oh.
Okay.
Whoa. Wow.
And this is coming, yes, from someone who couldn't finish the show.
Mm-hmm.
So it was too sad, though.
It was too sad and too slow for me.
Oh, okay.
I'm being told I'm very close to being done with the game based on where I'm at, and I love it so much I want to start it over when I'm done. Like, I really... My husband has been trying to get me to play this game since we met, before it was ever talked about at HHN, and I understand why. It's very much up my alley. It's very much my vibe. I'm getting frustrated. I die a lot, but yeah, you have to play it in normal mode to get all the infected. But I'm so excited. I think that the commitment you guys have talked about that Naughty Dog and HHN have together with this house is the reason, like, for me, it's the truest IP, I guess, that is this high. We'll get to the other one because it's an IP, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like the highest I think I've rated an IP, like, on a hype list since before I started going to 27 because of AHS. So that was my number 1 going in because of Coven. This is the highest I've rated a true IP. I'm very nervous. There's also some other personal reasons I'm very excited for it, which I tried not to put that into my consideration, but there's no way I can't. You guys know that.
That's so fair, yeah.
I can't talk about that right now, obviously. I know I'm not part of it. But you will find me in the fog just like everybody else, guys, I promise. But I'm very excited, and I think they're going to kill it. So it's my number 2. I think you guys will be probably so proud of me.
I'm very proud.
Yeah.
I am very proud.
Yay! I did it. Don't disappoint
All right.
me.
Does anyone have a number 2 still? Did we do all of our 2s?
No,
all right.
I think we're all on number 1 now.
Yep.
Yeah, deja vu. Should we just do it just like last year? 1, 2, 3. Universal of the motherfucking monsters.
Monsters. Universal motherfucking monsters. Damn, I forgot that's what I said last year.
Coven.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Spirits of the motherfucking Coven. Universal monsters motherfucking unmasked.
How'd that go for you?
Okay, all right.
This is different.
Oh,
Monsters was
sorry.
our
I bit my
number one
tongue. I
last
bit my
year
tongue while
after
you
the
guys were
end.
talking about it, and I had a lot to say. And I don't want to come off as rude, but did you guys forget about 2019's, like, it had Phantom, it had Hunchback, and those are 2 of the most iconic scenes that people would talk about the Universal 2019, which it was a very solid house for me, but people would say they could just build that year round and it would just always be there. And I believe
Yeah.
that I've heard that out of your mouth at least once, Duff. Um, there is no way,
Get 'em, Mike.
that this house flops. I mean, I think of all of. Have we had a Universal Monster house in the last few years that flopped? And this is going to be the one. This is
No,
going to
this
be.
house.
No. We're not
This is
talking
going to
about
be the one that
Hollywood.
flops. The one that has Phantom of the Opera.
Actually.
The one that has Hunchback of Notre Dame. The one that
Absolutely.
has Jekyll and Hyde. The one that has Invisible Man. These iconic people that have been asking for years. This is the one that flops. There is no way. There is
All right,
no way.
listen.
I could see that it could be maybe be a mid tier, but there is no way this falls to 8, Duff. There's no way.
I mean, it could be my.
I mean, we know that we're going to get the theater. We know they talked about the catacombs. This is just an amazing setting for these. This is going to be blow us away. We know this, guys. Let's not forget about all of the other Universal Monsters houses that we've had in the last years, and then this is going to be the one that flops. Is this just Universal Monster fatigue setting in? Is that what this is?
No, I don't have fatigue from Universal Monsters. I want it every year.
I know I'm not on the side that's getting yelled at right now, but I feel like I am.
I am passionate. This is going to be great.
No, Mike, I'm with you. That's my number one. I've been begging for Backseat Monsters for years. I am the bitch that was begging for this.
You literally are.
Literally fine, and that's okay. Listen, I know people want Creature. Creature needs to have his own house. They're doing mashups right now. Let them get exhausted of this. Like, creative need to move on to something else. And then we're gonna get Creature. But can you let us musical theater bitches have our fucking moment?
I'm letting you have it.
Like, god damn it, y'all get everything.
What?
We didn't ask for Dracula and the Mummy for fucking 8 years. Like, God.
I didn't ask for
I know.
Mike,
you
now
know.
I'm
Fair.
mad.
I asked for the Mummy. I'm
That's
just
all
saying.
right, and you got your Mummy. And
I
look,
did.
he was my number one house last year, and this year these are my bitches.
I hope
And
he's
this-
your number one.
And,
I hope.
and
I
think
hope
about
so.
how John Murdy,
I
how
hope that the
excited John
Hollywood-
Murdy was.
To be
Oh,
fair,
no.
he was excited about Legends Collide
I'm not.
too.
No, Mike. I'm not with you on that one. I am not taking Murdy into any of this account, my guy. We are not doing that. I'm very excited that this has nothing to do with Hollywood.
I think they're both going to be.
This
good,
is
but
our
okay,
monsters.
That's
Oh, I think I'm gonna have last year's Monsters in Hollywood rocked my shit more than any house I went through in any state last year. But this house is gonna be great. I think that they're committing to the sets. My only thing, I almost didn't put it at number one because of that fucking mask from that UK event.
Yeah.
But again, like I said on the episode, I'm trying not to judge it
Yeah.
because we saw it under fluorescent lighting,
That's
and
not
that's
fair.
so unfair to
Yep.
the artist.
That's fair.
So unfair. But I'm so excited. I love these monsters. They're all just so depressing, and just it's gonna be gothic architecture everywhere, and that's my shit.
Mm-hmm.
That is my jam. Like, you and I are just
There
gonna
is-
have to like hold arm in arm.
There
and
is
skip into
no
the
way
rails
that this
together.
house is bad. There isn't just no way. This is
No.
this is
I
a
don't care.
T-ball
Yeah.
setup to knock it out of the park. If this house is bad, like I will be completely shocked. Like this isn't even like a slow pitch. This is a T-ball setup as
We'll start our spin-off show.
there's just no way that this is bad. This has everything.
All right, we have to let.
There's
we
no
have
way
to
Spirits
let-
of the Cup
I didn't
was
say
bad,
that.
you know?
We-
I never
okay,
said
but
that. That was a
no.
risk.
We,
But
No, I know.
listen, we just like speakeasies and witches, so we were easily swayed. We love these monsters.
That's so fair. That is really
We've
fair.
been passionate about
These
these
are
witches for a
iconic
while. To be frank-
horror icons
Yeah.
that everyone has been clamoring for
I've been
to get fleshed out.
screaming.
That's
Ask that guy right there, Duff. I've been screaming about these guys.
Sure.
Give me Phantom and
There's just no
Quasi!
okay.
All right,
sorry.
we have to let them talk now. It's okay. All right, what are your number ones, gentlemen? Well, I know what they are, so someone talk.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine's better, so.
Okay, like has
I agree with that. You're
has
so low.
a higher probability of being a better house.
Okay.
But my number one, I mean, come on, it's Chucky. It's obvious. I've been talking about hyping up this house for weeks now. I was already excited for it. The minute they said we're making it meta. We're making it essentially an original concept house using the character and scenes and stuff. It immediately won me over completely. I think this is the best way to use this character. I think if they can pull it off, it can be one of the coolest things HHN has ever done. Because from my knowledge, I've never done something meta like this. Like completely, acknowledging this is a Horror Nights house, which is so cool. I love Chucky. Chucky was my first. Child's Play was my first ever horror movie, at least real horror movie. And I fell in love with the character. I watched all of his movies, his show that's on USA and Sci-Fi, and now going to be on Peacock. Yep, he's on that too. I love the character, and it really looks like they're giving him his house. And he had a house before, but this one really seems like they're letting him just go off and be Chucky, and that's what I'm very excited for. Every single year in Horror Nights, a IP that is somewhat original always ends up at my number one every single year. So I hope this will continue the trend. I have a feeling it will. This seems like my type of house, and I hope it ends up being that way.
I mean, I do hope it's that good for sure. Yeah.
I hope they all are.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I want every house to be number
all
one.
10.
Even Exorcist.
Yeah, even Exorcist. I think Exorcist has potential. Really think it does. Maybe not number one potential, but potential.
No.
Leave it to Jonathan to have the weirdest number one in the group.
You knew this is when you put me on a 365. You knew this was going to happen.
As of October 31st, 2022, I knew this would be your number one. So, but yeah, so my number one is obviously Dueling Dragons.
All right, Dragon
Choose thy fate. What do I even say? I don't know what to say. The attraction in general is very important to me. It was my first non-family coaster ever. Mm-hmm. It was my favorite attraction period for a lot of my life. It goes beyond what the house is. It's what Dueling Dragons is, and what that can bring to a house is pretty fantastic. I know there's a lot of it's a coaster. It was just a queue. It was drenched in lore. The queue was so immersive and beautiful. They can scale that up even further now. Get to see fucking full dragons in a house potentially. There's just so much that can go right here, and I want it to so bad. I want this to be a phenomenal house more than anything.
Get to meet Blitzrock and Pyrock.
Blizzrock.
I always say Blitzrock. Think of Blitzkrieg Bob. That's the issue.
Blitzrock Bob.
That's the issue.
It's not just a house that it's not hype in the sense that I am just straight up excited for it. I am fully rooting for it.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to happen. It needs to be great. Yeah. And I can't accept any other outcome in my head.
Wow. That was poetic.
It really was.
Thank you.
Wow.
Felt emotional there.
So this is a terrible comparison, and I don't think it's going to be like this, but the way you're talking about it is like my Beetlejuice going into.
No, yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's fine. It goes beyond HHN and anything else. It is its own thing.
Who you are as a person, pretty much. It's in Duff's lore,
mm-hmm.
So it's important to Duff.
Yes,
I love. Aww,
it's its own thing.
That's the monsters to me, you fucker.
Same Duff. That's Phantom of the Opera.
Same Duff. But I love that Dragons is your number one. I'm not shocked.
No,
I'm not.
Should not be.
But I'm so excited for it. Oh. This year's so good, guys. It's looking so good.
I'm sorry really I don't have your number one higher on my list.
It's okay.
To be fair, I think it is going to be a good house.
I think you're gonna.
I don't think it's going to be a bad house. This is where I mentioned, and I should have mentioned earlier, these are hype lists, not predictions of where the house will finish lists.
Oh, no,
very different things.
Yeah,
very different things. I would put Monsters at least several spots higher. Probably.
Oh, I know you'll have it top 6. Hopefully.
Oh, I'm sure at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hype and where it'll actually be are two very different things.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we rank things weekly. So
yeah,
come back during the event to hear where things go up and down because things change. Who knows if Dragons will continue to have 2 paths?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
operationally that could be a shit show.
Who knows if Last of Us, maybe costumes get too big. Things have happened. We've lost characters, depths of fear, stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
Hype is not the end. It's not the end all be all.
Absolutely.
It's just hype.
All right, that was a show. Let's wrap it up. Does anyone have anything else to add before we wrap it up?
I can't fucking wait. I am beyond excited.
Next
This year
week.
looks so good.
It's coming so
Like so good. And like we have like a fun ass live trivia coming out before that and just other shit going on to fill in the time with
Yeah.
less than 2 weeks till the event starts.
There's even the Red Coconut Club preview the day before HHN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much.
Yeah.
I guess kind of housekeeping. If you left a voicemail, we're gonna play it next week just because it's better
Mhm.
timing for a voicemail, I think. So, and if you do want to leave a voicemail for next week, the final episode before the event starts, great timing. Just saying. Leave us a voicemail 407 906 4134. Mike will say that in a second. But yeah, guys, I
Yeah.
it's here
It is.
almost.
It really is. Well, about leaving a voicemail, if you maybe have a question about any of the possible lore going into 32, leave a voicemail, ask a question. Maybe that has to do with
Yeah.
next week.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Maybe.
So if you have a question,
Definitely.
let us know.
And as always, you can leave those questions on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365, or you can reach us out to us on TikTok as well at HHN365pod. You
Probably don't reach out there, but go follow it.
yeah, you can like tag or whatever, right? There's not really any way to DM on there. I don't know.
No, there's DMs that we're just very bad at checking them on TikTok. It seems.
Well, if we don't follow you, it goes into a hidden folder sometimes. So it's better to do it on an app where that doesn't.
But you also could reach out to us on Discord. The link is in the description. And we have a merch shop at hhn365.com. You can leave us a voicemail at 407 906 4134. And we'll see you in the streets.